Adam, come and sit with us.
Hey, Susan. Hi, Helen. What's going on?
Not much. We were talking about the local elections today. You know, the elections for the city council, and I just came back from the voting station, and Susan here is still deciding who to vote for. Did you vote yet, Adam?
I didn't know there were any elections today. Anyway, I don't think I'm gonna vote. I don't usually vote in local elections. I don't know what I'm voting for. I don't know the people or the issues. I mean, who cares about the city council? I don't even know what they do.
Well, I have to disagree with you, Adam. I think it's important to vote in every election.
Yeah, well, I vote in some elections. I voted for the president, but this is just a local election. It's not important. What do you think, Susan? Do you think local elections really matter?
Well, I agree with you to a point, Adam. A local election is less important than the general election. We're not choosing a president, but it's the idea of voting that's important to me. You know, women couldn't vote at all a century ago. I feel I have to vote. I have to use my right.
Exactly, Susan. But I think you're both wrong about local elections. They are important. The city council has a lot of control over this city. They make decisions that can affect all of us. For example, do you know that one of the candidates wants to cancel the Independence Day parade this year?
Really? That's terrible.
I thought you hated parades.
Yeah, I do, but it's a tradition. You can't just cancel the Independence Day parade.
I don't see why not. Nobody goes to it anyway.
That's exactly the problem, Adam. And you too, Susan. People in your generation just aren't involved in the community. That's why you're not interested in voting in the local elections. When I was a girl, I grew up in a small town, and we had a stronger community. Everyone went to the Independence Day parade, and it was so much fun. When I was a teenager, I volunteered at the parade. I collected money for local charities.
The world's a bigger place now, Helen. Look at the modern world. The internet, international airline travel, 24-hour news channels. The local community isn't just your small town anymore. Who cares about a dumb Independence Day parade when there are wars and famines? I vote in the general election because the president has power in the international scene. The city council can't do anything important. They're only interested in silly parades.
I'm not saying the international scene isn't important, Adam. Come on. You know I'm majoring in international relations. But I believe that the global community starts with local communities. And you have to vote to have a voice in your local community. I know the world has changed since I was a kid. But what worries me is that you young people aren't trying to improve the community. You can't just say that local politics aren't important anymore.
And do you think that voting today will make the world a better place, Helen?
Yes, I do.
Well, I do too. I'm going to vote. And I won't vote for canceling the parade. Adam, want to come with me to the voting station?
Nope. I still say it's a waste of time. And besides, I have class now.
What class are you going to?
Social studies.
Good evening, Jerry.
Andrea, hello. I'm sorry I'm a bit late.
That's not a problem, but I think we ought to get started right away. You have a big exam coming up.
You're right, and I haven't been able to study for it very much. I've been busy writing a paper for my science class.
No, really? What's the paper on?
It's on the discovery of penicillin. Are you familiar with the story of how penicillin was discovered? It's actually very interesting.
No, I don't know very much about penicillin, other than the fact that it's a drug that has saved millions of lives in the past 70 years. What's so interesting about its discovery?
Well, it was an accident. Alexander Fleming wasn't even looking for an antibiotic when he noticed that this mold, what we now call penicillin, seemed to slow down the growth of bacteria. Imagine a discovery that important happening by accident. It is still one of the most widely used antibiotics in the world. It got me thinking about all sorts of inventions. How many of them were the results of accidents? Not only inventions, but discoveries and ideas. How often are they the result of some unexpected event or accident? The story of Sir Isaac Newton and the apple come to mind. They say he was just sitting under a tree enjoying a fine day when an apple dropped on his head. And that's when he developed the theory of gravity.
Actually, I'm not sure if that's a true story, but I get your point.
Well, How about more recently? Take the example of Charles Goodyear. The automobile tire company is named after him. He was working with rubber in the 1800s. He was trying to find a way to shape dissolved rubber under heat. But it always melted. And then he discovered the process of vulcanization by accident.
The process of what?
Vulcanization. The process by which rubber is made strong and resilient through the addition of sulfur under heat and pressure. The rubber loses its stickiness, making it the perfect material for automobile tires and many other products.
How did he make this discovery?
Let me see if I can remember exactly. He had a mailbag that was lined with the dissolving rubber and some other material. I can't remember exactly what. Somehow, the bag fell onto a hot stove, and this time the rubber didn't melt. It charred, which was a great improvement. It turns out that there was sulfur in the other material on the mailbag, and so when the rubber was heated along with the sulfur, it was vulcanized.
Did you know that Alexander Graham Bell was looking for a way to help deaf people when he accidentally invented the telephone?
Wow. No, I didn't know that. You know, I wonder if that kind of thing still happens. I mean, major discoveries by chance. So many of the advances in science today happen in major laboratories run by corporations or governments or universities. It's hard to imagine helpful accidents in places like that where everything is so organized and well-planned.
It definitely still occurs. Think about the example of minoxidil.
The hair loss drug? My father uses that. It was discovered by accident?
It sure was. It was originally created as a medicine to treat high blood pressure. One, or maybe more than one, of the patients using it reported that he experienced hair regrowth. Then many other patients reported that they started to grow new hair, and soon the manufacturer began to market it as a hair loss drug.
That's a great story.
Well, we could trade stories like this for hours, but I think we need to start preparing for this exam.